yesterday's monumental news. President Joe Biden bowing out of the race for re-election, endorsing his VP. Our Dave Laval is standing by from the White House, hearing from voters as the 2024 race turns into a brand new ballgame. But first, national correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple reports from D.C.
President Joe Biden will not seek re-election. He made the announcement on X, writing, quote, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president." Shortly after, he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. The move comes after intensifying calls for the president to drop out after the June 27th debate, the latest from West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin on ABC This Week.
The time has come for him to pass the torch to a new generation.
Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal said the president's decision put the country before himself.
And he has helped to cement his legacy.
Former President Donald Trump reacted on Truth Social, writing, "All those around him knew that he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't." House Speaker Mike Johnson told ABC Democrats could face legal trouble if they try to replace President Biden.
14 million Democrats voted to make Joe Biden the nominee.
The president's endorsement of Harris could also complicate the Democratic National Convention, according to George Washington University professor Casey Burgett.
Remember that she has 0 delegates attached to her name.
But Vice President Harris says she intends to earn the nomination and win in November.
For reporting, the country is, of course, learning of the news in real time, including at the White House. The president is expected to return there later this week from Delaware, where he's been isolating for COVID. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us live outside of the White House. Dave, how are voters reacting to this news?
Well, hey there, Ben. Overall, we have seen a steady stream of people come to the White House all day, and overall, the majority of those we spoke to agree with the decision by the president to not seek re-election. Large crowds gathered along the north side fence following the announcement. That includes plenty of media, not just local and national, but from other countries as well. The decision did not seem to catch anyone we talked to from either party by surprise. They include Arlington's Michael Willey, who made it clear how he feels about the president not seeking a second term, while DC's Patricia Green just wanted to express her gratitude to the president.
I think he did the right thing. I think he did the patriotic thing. I think he did the thing that's best for our country.
I thought he was going to stick it out. You know, the Democrats claim to be the party of democracy. We had a primary. 14 million people voted for Joe. He should be the nominee.
The president pledged his support, as you heard, to Vice President Kamala Harris. Democrats we talked to told us they will also support her. Joe Biden, meanwhile, is the 7th president not to seek re-election. The last time this happened, way back in 1968 with Lyndon Johnson. We're live at Lafayette Park Square. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave, more on the historic context in about 30 minutes. We also went to Howard University in D.C. That's where Vice President Kamala Harris' alma mater, that's where she went to college, checking in with how students are feeling about her potentially earning the nomination for president. One student we spoke to says that he's grateful Harris can represent both African Americans and the HBCU on such a large stage.
I think that the representation is very much needed. It's long overdue. It's a great feeling knowing that I'm going to an institution that is preparing me for things like this. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not I am going into the political system, I just think it's important to just have that representation.
Kamala Harris graduated from Howard University in 1986 with a degree in political science and economics. All right, time is 6:04. Over to your weather now, getting into our local forecast. Local news, Scott Sumner standing by. Hey, Scott.
Hello, Ben, and hello to you out there on this Sunday. It's a warm one, 88 degrees, mostly cloudy. Skies are being seen out there, and that's what's capped us here at 88 this hour. But we are going to be seeing those numbers pretty much over the next several days stay in that realm. Now, as we go throughout the overnight, we'll be bottoming out a little warmer than we were last night. Last night we were around 70. Tonight it'll be about 75 or so here as the temperatures, as you see, over the last 12 hours or next 12 hours get unfolded. And as our satellite radar perspective shows, it has been a mainly dry forecast, as I did talk about last night. However, there have been a couple little baby showers that have cropped up, again, under severe limits. So tonight we'll go through again like we did last night. Some places seeing some patchy fog and lower visibilities. We'll have some daily rain and storm chances for tomorrow. They'll get ramped up a little bit. No scorching heat this week, as I mentioned yesterday, and drier and warmer getting into next weekend. We'll have that 7-day forecast for you in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you in a few moments, Scott. In the district, D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith is marking 1 year on the job, a position that she inherited with near historic crime surges and homicides and carjackings. Chief Smith sat down with D.C. News Now's Leonard N. Fleming to discuss year one and what she hopes to accomplish.
Chief Smith tells me she's happy that crime is down significantly in the district, and it is a result of shifting strategies. But she says she's not done working, even though people say they don't feel like crime is really down.
I know what crime was like when I was appointed by Mayor Bowser July 17th of last year.
In 2023, violent crime was 39% higher than it was in 2022. That's according to D.C. police statistics, and homicides were up 35%, the highest in decades.
Robberies and carjackings and just overall crime, and really getting in here and looking at the data and the statistics and really analyzing where we needed to start.
Today, on Smith's 1-year anniversary, violent crime is down 33% and homicides 29%. Help came with Mayor Muriel Bowser's crime bill that gave the Metropolitan Police Department more crime-fighting tools. Violence usually surges in the summer months, but
we didn't wait for the summer to begin addressing crime. We started addressing crime last year.
Not everyone is convinced, though.
No, we don't feel safe.
Lucille Leach of Southeast D.C. lost a son to murder that remains unsolved after 8 years.
I hope they stop lying about the crime rate, because the crime rate is not down.
Clarence Dorsey agrees.
Certain things might not be happening as often as they were. Doesn't mean that crime is not going on.
Lorraine Walker says crime isn't down in her mind, but the chief's performance?
Every time something happens, she's there. She's talking about it. To me, she seems like she's pretty good people.
Smith says she acknowledges the crime perceptions and that more needs to be done.
What our job is to do is to continue to have those conversations with those members who don't feel safe and to determine what we can do better.
Smith tells DC News Now she's not going anywhere, and this is a job that she plans to stay in for a long time. And what grade does she give herself? A B+. Reporting from Southeast, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
Thanks to Leonard. We will note that last check yesterday of D.C.'s crime stats, homicides are down this year compared to last. All right, over in Maryland, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue say one person was hurt after a tractor trailer slammed into a bridge and a car on I-495. Crews responded to the crash on the Beltway near River Road in Bethesda around 10:50 this morning. The person who was hurt in the crash was taken to the hospital. No word on their condition at this hour. Some lanes were blocked earlier today in the area, no doubt, of River Road as officials investigated. Well, new tonight in the Commonwealth, Fairfax County police say that they have arrested a 17-year-old for allegedly hitting and killing a man while driving under the influence. Officials responded to the crash at the intersection of Lorton Road and Timoran Drive around 11:20 last night. 35-year-old Jamar Caper was found suffering from life-threatening injuries. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Detectives believe narcotics may have played a role in the crash, and speed is still being investigated. Police in Fairfax County are also looking for this man who they say burglarized a dental office. It happened on Little River Turnpike in Annandale back on June the 21st. Police say the suspect broke into the office, opened a safe, and stole some cash. That's when he took off. If you know anything or know this man, call police. More local news in the Commonwealth. The University of Virginia is getting rid of its second fraternity after an investigation found the Theta Chi fraternity guilty of hazing. According to a report made by the university earlier this month, 2 other fraternities, Sigma Alpha Mu and Pi Lambda Phi, are also under investigation. Officials reported the latest fraternity and their new members during lineup sessions were forced to eat food and things that were not edible, which caused vomiting and a loss of sensation in limbs. The fraternity's international headquarters did not respond to emails for comment. All right, in Maryland, 8 new schools are coming to Prince George's County. The county will replace 14 outdated schools in areas like Brandywine and Hyattsville. The project will cost $800 million and will have to be paid over 30 years. Some are saying the price is too high.
It's set up, it's like a mortgage. So you think about when you buy a house for $200,000 and you look at that amortization table, you're paying almost $1 million for that house.
The Commission on School Construction will make a final vote on the construction in the coming weeks.